the hazards associated with meat-based diets for animals?
There are quite a range of pretty awful ingredients, unfortunately, that go into these diets. The industry, the meat production industry for humans, views the production of pet foods as a bit of a vast industrial dumping ground for products that are considered to be or labelled as being unfit for human consumption. So in abattoirs there are a wide variety of byproducts which are considered to be unfit for human consumption. So there's gristle, there's sinews, tendons, things like that. There's also animals that arrive at the abattoirs who are diseased, disabled, dying or dead on arrival. That's the so-called 4D meat. These animals are considered to be unfit for human consumption, so they often are diverted into the pet food chain. There is meat which is diseased, potentially infested by parasitic infestations and so on, cancerous tissue. There are vast amounts of these meats which are ejected in slaughterhouses for human consumption and may end up in the pet food supply lines, unfortunately. So there are all of those, and then there are also supermarket rejects. Those are meat products in supermarkets which go past their use-by dates. Those can be diverted into the pet food production process, not always with styrofoam packaging removed, unfortunately. There is grease and oils which are used in fast food restaurants for deep frying food again and again and again, reused. And in that reusing process they accumulate products of combustion, the charcoal waste products, high concentrations of free radicals, more hazardous trans fatty acids. These are sometimes sold to pet food manufacturers as fat blenders and flavour enhancers. And then of course, unfortunately, there is the large population of cats and dogs which are surrendered to animal shelters and then put to sleep because of lack of homes. So these can end up being rendered and going into the pet food supply as well. There was a survey in the US that surveyed 43 brands of dog food and found detectable levels of euthanizing solution in these 43 brands. So this is a chemical that's specifically designed to actually kill cats and dogs, which is ending up in low levels in cat and dog food to which they're being exposed over potentially the duration of their lifetimes. Now, of course, not all of these are relevant to Europe. There are bans in various jurisdictions, countries, for some of these chemicals and processes involved in the production of pet foods. However, imported brands from the US or from countries that have less regulations may have more of these hazardous ingredients. Also things like hormonal additives, antibiotic residues, things like that. So there's quite a range of pretty disturbing ingredients that end up in commercial pet foods. These are hazardous ingredients and they can cause quite a range of diseases as well. I've done a bit of a look in the scientific literature to look for studies documenting the incidence of these hazardous ingredients and the diseases that cats and dogs can experience when they're maintained on these diets, and the results are quite disturbing.